Quand certains, à Hollywood, changent de costume entre deux scènes, Todd Tucker, lui, a changé de vie plusieurs fois. Maquilleur d'effets spéciaux, il a prêté ses mains à des créatures d'horreur devenues cultes et façonné des visages inoubliables avant de passer à la mise en scène et réaliser ses propres films. L.A Confidentiel vous raconte les 1001 vies de Todd Tucker.
Vous savez, ce que j'adore à Hollywood, c'est que beaucoup de parcours ne suivent aucune ligne droite. Souvent, les trajectoires vont zigzaguer, se réinventer, renaître. Et puis, comme dans les scènes dans un film, chaque étape de ce parcours, chaque changement de cap va tomber pile au bon moment.
Timing is very important, especially in the entertainment industry. You got to be kind of lucky and you got to put yourself out there, but ultimately timing and luck is a big part of it for sure.
Let's go back, with the special effects, the makeup. You even collaborated on Academy Award winning project.
So yeah, I was really fortunate to be part of the team that created the makeups for things like Benjamin Buttons and Mrs. Doubtfire and going all the way back to Hook. So, there's always a team of creatives that create whatever is the Academy Award winning makeup or whatever it is. I was with a really talented group of people and learn as I went.
We got a chance, to look at something, when Jim Carrey wasn't known.
Okay. We went to Florida to go do a head cast on him to create that mask makeup. I got there and I was in a hotel room with him starting to do his bald cap. And I said, "So what are you working on right now?" And he goes, "I'm doing this comedy called Ace Ventura, Pet Detective." And who would have known that, Ace Ventura was going to be one of the funniest movies in history. It was great to be able to meet him back when he was still, an unknown, and then to see his career just go crazy.
The crucifix, with the Christ on top of it, that was a robotic thing?
Mel knew that he wasn't going to be able to keep our actor on the cross for too long. He knew it was going to be problematic, so we built an entire animatronic version of Jim Caviezel, looking exactly how he looked with all his wounds and all of his damage and everything on the cross, and the head moved and it blinked and the chest would breathe. And they were able to use that. Mel was able to use it because it looked so real for a huge part of the time you see him on the cross.
SFX, makeup, actor, even hiding behind creatures, because you played creatures.
Yeah.
Puppeteer.
When I moved here and started doing special effects makeup, I knew that I also wanted to get into suit performing, creature performing, puppeteering, and I had done a lot of that as a kid. Jingle All the Way was actually one of my first puppeteering jobs with a big pink tiger and all that. Playing the creatures is physically difficult and hard at times, but man, it's a lot of fun.
L'arrière-boutique des horreurs. C'est ainsi que Todd Tucker décrit le hangar où sont entreposés les vestiges de son passé. 30 ans d'effets spéciaux, de maquillage et de créatures qui feraient le bonheur de n'importe quel collectionneur. La chauve-souris humanoïde de Dracula, le corps contorsionné de l'étudiante possédée dans l'exorcisme d'Emily Rose, masques et prothèses en tout genre. Ces 3 décennies passées dans l'ombre des plus grandes productions hollywoodiennes ont nourri chez Todd Tucker une véritable obsession. Passer un jour derrière la caméra et réaliser son propre film, d'horreur bien sûr.
I wish I could scare them all to death.
I was raised on horror. I'm a huge fan of John Carpenter, and I got to meet John Carpenter. I just got super lucky, and I got Doug Jones, the master of all creature characters ever. And there's a bunch of really cool characters in this movie. There's at least a dozen different creatures and puppets and all kinds of stuff.
And these are all your friends from special effects makeup?
I had a bunch of my friends jump in and help me. It was a low budget film.
Yeah.
And so we had to really, I had to pull a lot of favors. We had great makeup effects guys helping me on set, putting the makeups on, and it was super fun.
It's time to talk about Todd Tucker, the musician.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was in a rock and roll band that was signed by a record label. I was the lead singer at the time. And then Nirvana showed up, and MTV turned everything into grunge, and my career ended overnight, literally. So I moved to Los Angeles and started working in the film industry and kind of put music behind me.
But it was still there.
It was always, once a musician, always a musician, right? So when COVID hit, I had this idea of doing a rock concert idea, and my daughter said, hey, would you ever consider getting your old band back together? And I'm like, hell no. But that would make a great premise. So I started writing Rock Bottom.
Blow me away.
Once we got financed, I got to pull in some of these amazing, great musicians, including Terry Ilous, who was the lead singer of XYZ and Great White. And then I got to jump in and write music, do all the background vocals, and play drums.
This was the moment that Cougar Snake went from top of the world to rock bottom.
Could you sing?
No, I don't sing in front of people.
I'm begging you, please sing.
Yeah, here I am now, baby.
Is it destiny that this guy was in the movie? This is Jake Bon Jovi, for God's sake.
So it's funny because I had somebody else cast, and one of the producers came to the board and she goes, look, I got somebody that I think would be a great character to put in this spot. And I go, no, I'm not interested. And all of a sudden she put his headshot on the table and I went, Jake Bon Jovi. I go, holy crap, really? I did a 45-minute conversation with him, and this was going to be his first lead feature film. He was perfect, and I used his nervousness of having this be his first movie for his character, which was nervous because he was being thrown into a lead singing situation, and he's totally, scared to death of singing in front of an audience. So I just used his general, actual nerves, and it worked perfectly for his character.
Writings on the wall. My love is forever.
On va retrouver Todd Tucker dans un instant, on va parler de ses futurs projets et puis de sa collaboration avec ce studio, Onyx Forge Studio. Mais avant, premier regard, je précise, c'est en exclusivité, premier regard sur un thriller intitulé Together, Ensemble, en français, un titre qui résume parfaitement l'alchimie de ce duo, un duo uni à la ville comme à l'écran.
Alison Brie et Dave Franco forment sans doute le couple le plus discret d'Hollywood. 13 ans de vie commune, zéro scandale. Et quand ils apparaissent ensemble à l'écran, c'est dans des projets qu'ils écrivent à deux, des histoires que Dave Franco réalise lui-même.
We get offered a lot of movies for us to act in together, and we're very selective because we just don't want to burn people out on seeing us on screen next to each other. And so this
and you
one,
wanted to pack as much punch as possible too, I think.
Yeah, and this one felt appropriate because the characters in the film have been together for over a decade, and we figured our relationship could actually lend itself really well to that particular story.
Tim et Millie, ce sont leurs noms, forment un couple fusionnel. En quittant la ville pour s'installer à la campagne, ils pensaient trouver la paix. Mais ce qu'ils vont affronter dépasse tout ce qu'ils pouvaient imaginer. Des événements surnaturels qui vont progressivement les transformer corps et âme. Tourné en Australie, Together est le premier long métrage de Michael Shanks.
I am not somebody who really believes in the supernatural in the real world. However, I'm fascinated with the fact that if you ask that question to so many people, have you encountered something supernatural? 3 out of 5 people will say yes. And I can't square that with my perception of what reality is, but I know those people aren't lying.
I love you.
I love you too.
Devant la caméra, la complicité entre Alison Brie et Dave Franco se lit dans chaque regard. Les deux acteurs n'ont même pas besoin de se forcer.
As a couple, we already have a secret language and a way of understanding one another. That really lent itself towards the fast pace of this shoot. It was so run and gun. Dave and I have such an inherent understanding of each other, of how we work, of, if one of us is having an idea, we can just lock eyes across the room and go yeah, let's do that. So that was, I thought, very advantageous for us on this one.
Oh, hugely. It was crucial. I mean, I don't think we could have done it with anybody. I mean, I know we couldn't have done it with anybody other than you two. Not only are they incredible actors, but that shorthand, the fact that you went home together every night, so you knew the script, you knew your scenes, and just the physical situations we were putting you guys in. Imagine having actors that didn't get on.
I know it sounds cliche, but once a special effects makeup artist, always a special effects makeup artist. And sure. This is the proof, you know. This is actually your new home, your current home.
So yeah, I recently started working with longtime friends Steve Wang and Cleve Gunderman, and him and Cleve now own a company called Onyx Forge, which they've had for a while, and they do special effects makeup, design, creatures, everything. Steve is an amazing makeup effects guy. He actually taught me how to sculpt and paint when I was 17. So he was my mentor back in the day, and he since then did The Predator and worked on Gremlins 2 and all these great movies, and he also directed films. So I will absolutely have any of my films that I do in the future, all the effects will be done here because these guys are the best in the business. And we had the pleasure of recently working on a new series that is created by the creators of Stranger Things. And it comes out next year, and we had the pleasure of creating the creatures and the makeups, and I got to go on set and apply makeup and puppeteer.
Yeah, but as far as director and writer, I mean, we're still going, right?
We are still going. Yeah. I actually have 2 films right now that I am connected to direct, and they're both horror films. The horror audience is the best audience. They're the most loyal, they love to have props and masks and things. They like to hold their horror items. And so it's a really, really good market. And the horror genre has proven over and over that it's really the creatures and the characters in the movie that are your movie poster. That's what sells the movie. You don't really have to have big names in a horror genre, and they usually don't. So it's really nice that they give the opportunity to more unknown actors and really talented actors to be able to do these horror films. And then it really comes down to how scary they are and how cool the concept is of whatever that horror character is.
Merci d'avoir suivi ce L.A Confidentiel, c'était Todd Tucker, 100% artiste, 100% magicien du cinéma. À la semaine prochaine pour une nouvelle immersion hollywoodienne depuis Los Angeles. Bye.